All right, cool. So the initial goal today is pretty straightforward. What we want to do is rename the column in the routes table, currently called route ID full. We want to rename it to LRS key. And that should be really straightforward. That in and of itself, there's literally like a rename column command in Oracle that's like super simple. And I'll show it to you in a second. But there's some downstream effects to doing that. There's triggers that populate data in that column that reference that column. Therefore, those triggers have to be updated. And there's also views that reference that column that need to be rebuilt to select from the correct column name. So, so it's a little bit more complicated than it might seem on the surface. Column or if you're
Yeah, the phone's breaking up. I couldn't hear what you just said.
Oh, really? Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just saying, the first step is to launch your favorite. You guys use Toad. I'm using SQL Developer, but
okay.
Were you able to get what I said about the sort of the initial seemingly easy goal and sort of the kind of longer, more difficult goal, which is maybe I'll just start over.
Yeah.
Okay, so the initial goal of this is really simple, really straightforward. All we want to do is rename the route ID full column within the routes table to LRS key. And that's actually a very simple thing to do. I'll show you how to do it. But what's important here is that renaming that column has some downstream effects that we need to account for, and it's a little bit, there's a little bit more to it than just renaming this one column. The downstream effects that we know about are one is that it's going to affect some triggers that fire to populate that column with data, and it's also going to affect some views that read that column to populate their own that include a query that references that column. So really, the goal here is to update the column name and update the downstream issues that come up as a result of changing the column name. Maybe it's sort of a third goal to throw out there too is that for the purpose of training here, like it would be really easy for me to just deploy all these changes and just call that done and deployed, because when the IT group does its initial cutover of this testing training database over to production, it's pretty simple. They're going to do what's called a clone. They're basically going to like take a snapshot of this database and then just deploy it on the other, and yay, done. And that takes the data, the definitions of all the tables, all the views, all the everything, and the data within those things, and just slaps it on this other server, and then go.
Yep.
But that's nice and all, but the reality down the line, when it's going to be your responsibility to make these kinds of structural changes to the database, is that like renaming a column is a perfect example of the kind of change you might want to make later on. And what you're going to have to do to accomplish that, and this is what Alla told me, is that you're going to have to write the SQL that deploys the change, test the SQL on the testing database, and then give that SQL that makes those changes to the IT group, to your DBA, and have the DBA run those changes on production.
Okay.
So the most important thing I want to show you today is how to write the SQL that you can give to the DBA and say, hey, I wrote this and tested it on testing. This is for you to review and run on production, because we're confident it's ready to go.
Okay.
So So what I've done is I've logged in. So the routes table, as you know, is within the LRS schema, and I've logged into the LRS schema.
Mm-hmm.
And here are the tables within the LRS schema. These should all be familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Forget these back tables. These are sort of temporary backup tables.
Okay.
Yeah. You won't see these in GeoMedia, for example, because there's no metadata for them.
Right.
Okay, so and the basic thing we want to do again is change the name of this guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Route ID to LRS key. Mm-hmm.
Right. So, and the easiest way to do that, honestly, at least within SQL Developer and probably also in Toad, to right-click on it, rename,
right.
Lamb, and we could just say LRS key and be done with it in theory. But if we do that, what we won't have is the SQL for a script to give to your DBA.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I do. Ultimately, all this whole SQL Developer interface, all it really does is it's giving you UI to write SQL. And in this case, it's DDL, Data Definition Language SQL. And you notice there's the prompts, and then there's the SQL.
Right, there's a SQL, right. Mm-hmm.
Grab that.
Yeah, right, okay.
Copy it. I guess you can't see that I'm copying it, but Control-C.
Mm-hmm.
Cancel. So we're not making the change. Mm-hmm. And then paste. Okay. And then every SQL statement, as you know, ends with a semicolon. And now, if we just run this, this will change to LRS key. Mm-hmm. Easy. Here, I'm going to run it, okay?
Right. Yep, go ahead.
Actually, you know what? Before I do, let me show you something. I just want to point out. See all these triggers?
Mm-hmm.
These route triggers?
Right.
As soon as I run this, these X's.
Hey, Adam, I can't hear you. Adam?
Hear me now?
No. It's if you can hear me, it's breaking up. I couldn't catch what you were saying. Once you clicked on the triggers, I just lost you there.
Okay, check 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Huh. Yeah, keep telling me if you can't hear me.
Yeah. So once you run the SQL, those triggers will change, right? They're going to turn to the other. Yeah, they're not going to turn.
They're going to get little red X's on them.
Mm-hmm. Because we changed that, and those triggers identify the route ID. Well, the key, route ID for those triggers, right? So.
Yeah. Well, here, let's look at them real quick.
Okay.
Routes before insert and update.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at the code in this trigger, what we're saying is
where is it? Oh.
Basically here we're saying
route ID full. Yeah.
If new route ID full, or it's basically set if route ID type is this type,
right.
Then route ID pre is null, then do this.
Yeah.
And so it's referencing these columns all over the place.
Yep. And because you changed the name, it's not going to identify that.
Yeah. It's this trigger is gonna break.
Right.
Anyhow, let's do it. And you can just see it.
Yep.
So running. Oh no! Look at that. Didn't even work. Column to be renamed is used in a virtual column expression. Attempted to rename a column that was used in virtual column. Drop the virtual column first, or change the virtual column expression to eliminate dependency on the column to be renamed. That's interesting. Honestly, I didn't expect that. So what it's talking about is the view. Mm-hmm. For this is a virtual column.
Right.
So what it's talking about is this.
Yeah.
God, that's funny because I ran this on my own machine and it worked just fine. And what it did is it invalidated this view, and I had to rebuild the view. But okay, well, let me just so maybe I think you get the point, which is that you have to write the SQL to do these things in the right order. And I've already gone to the trouble of writing all the SQL for you. And this is it, the lrs.rename route ID full DDL.
Okay. It looks like we have to run the view first, or can we just run that off the SQL off of the statement off of the routes table?
I'm not sure. I'm going to have to do a little bit of playing around to get it right.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds
like. But the thing that I'll just say, I guess, is that what do I have to do?
Oh, okay.
The thing the main point I want to get to is that I just want to make as clear as I can is that this.
You changed like 5 tables, huh? Well, all route ID for all those tables have been changed to LRS key or pre, right? Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. These two are on routes.
Yeah.
So I'm changing rename. Ooh, that's not right. This should be route ID.
Route ID. Yeah. Okay.
LRS key pre, and then these other 3 tables have LRS key as well. And I kept this one with AR LRS key. This is the TSN routes table.
Right.
Anyhow, let's run this and see what happens. I think this is going to fail. So I think that your instinct about it, about us having to change the SQL for SHS routes is probably right. Let's just do this. Drop view VW SHS routes. This means we'll have to rebuild GeoMedia metadata for it, by the way. All right, so drop that.
Okay.
We'll run this. Okay, there's one other view that references this the route ID full column. Do you know what view it is?
Well, LRS.
Would it help to look at the data model diagram?
Yeah. Because hold on, I have it here. Okay. We have the routes. Okay. Build the view off of that. Hold on.
Sure. I'll give you a hint. It's not in the LRS schema.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, so the view. Okay, so the views. Well, we have a. Hold on. All rows. That's what I'm looking at it. Looking at the routes management. No, it's not that one. Okay, here it is. Nope, that's the LRS data model. Nope. view there. Well, you have three views. You have the view SHS routes, the counties and jurisdiction. No, those are just domains.
Mm-hmm. So it's not, like I said, the view that's the offender, I'm pretty sure, is not in the LRS schema. So what's the other schema within the database that has views?
Well, we have the LRS, and then we have the HPMS, right?
Yep.
No. Yeah, the HPMS schema, which has the other views that was built for it, that we built in there.
Yeah. Do you have the HPMS data model handy?
Yeah.
Because there's one view in the HPMS data model that draws data from the routes table in LRS.
Yeah. Trying to. Okay. So. No, it's not this one. Urban area, nope. No, that's. Hold on, I'm flipping through the diagrams here.
Okay.
I want to get it right. Okay, that's the NHS. Okay, so it's running. Okay. HPMS is running the export routes to snapshot human access. It's reading the.
Are you looking at the data model diagram that I put together maybe 2 weeks ago?
No, I'm looking at the HPMS figure G.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to help. What I'm thinking of is the data model diagram that I gave you guys maybe 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
It's
probably not here then. Hold on.
Yeah, let me.
I'm sure it's.
I mean, I'm being a little bit cheeky, right? I'm okay. I think I know the answer to the question, although I haven't tested my answer. So I'm being a little bit rhetorical by forcing you to look for it. So if I'm being annoying, just stop me. You know?
Oh no. No, I just wanna make sure I grab the I get the concept.
Okay.
Oh. Did I not receive that? Well, if I if you go and dive into the HPMS schema, I'm sure I can figure it out. I mean,
okay.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm connecting to the HPMS schema.
Mhm. Okay.
And let's just go straight to the views.
Yep.
There's only one view there.
Yep. Routes catalog. Okay.
And if you look at it, it has route ID.
Cool. Yep.
And if we look at the SQL that defines this view, a.route ID, and the A table is LRS.route.
Yep, LRS routes. Yep. Okay.
So what I'm going to do is drop this view within the HPMS schema for the moment.
Okay. We'd have to, we'll have to rebuild it, but.
We'll have to rebuild it.
Yeah, So it's just a matter of running the SQL again, right? So.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's a drop view statement. I'm just going to run it. And the basic issue, I think, was that over here we're logged in as LRS, and we don't have the privileges to modify the definition of an HPMS view.
Right.
So, but
we're not allowed that. Okay.
But here we're logged in as HPMS. So I should be able to drop this view. There we go. View dropped.
And then go back to LRS and make that.
Back here. Back here. Let's try this now again. Just going to clear my error log. Are you joking me?
Virtual column for such. Did it drop the view table in LRS? I don't remember. I remember still seeing it in under the view.
Here, I'll run this.
Yeah.
Yeah, table of view doesn't exist.
Okay.
We dropped
it
already.
Okay, it dropped. Okay.
Funny. Okay, so maybe if I look at, I'm gonna pause the recording because now I'm just looking for a solution. Unless you want me to leave it running, it's up to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can pause it.
I think that the issue now is that we have to drop the trigger before we can run this rename statement, and it's okay for us to do that because we have the code to replace the trigger. I've already rewritten the code to replace the trigger in this SQL.
Using the new LRS key, right, field.
Right.
Okay.
So LRS key pre equals this. So instead of LRS key equals pre concatenated with carriage flag, like all that kind of stuff. It's all right there.
Okay.
So we're going to drop this trigger, and then, okay, trigger dropped.
Okay.
So let's try again.
I remember there was another trigger table there.
Okay, there's the after insert trigger. Oh, wait a minute. Whoops.
I think it was under dependency or something, right?
Yeah. Let's look at it. After insert. Okay. I don't have the code for after insert in my in my DDL. Let me get it. It's here. There, so now I can drop that too.
Okay. It's been dropped.
By the way, you see I'm saving this code. This code is all being saved in a file.
Okay.
So, dude! All right. Virtual column expression.
What is virtual column expression?
I gotta start Googling. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. The F class doesn't call to it, does it? The F class or the NHS calls the routes table. I don't know.
What doesn't call the routes? What's your question again?
Oh, I'm just wondering if the F class and the routes. I'm sorry, the NHS calls the routes table, because that's what it seemed like the problem was, but I could be wrong.
NHS calls no.
Yeah, because
I mean it does sort of, but only in what would it be? But only in a Dimesig query, which happens in GeoMedia lately.
Okay.
So, all right, this is bad. Well, maybe I'll just do this.
I think it's the third. Yeah, that one. Up or something. One of those.
Well, I mean, this is exactly the way I'm thinking about it. Like, okay, what's calling on that?
Yeah.
On that column. All right. Go back and update our dependencies. There are no dependencies anymore.
Yeah. We dropped them all.
An index. There might be an index.
Would it be in the space?
No, there's no.
No, no spatial. Yeah.
I think I put an index on that field. Let's drop that if it's there. Routes.
And routes. Route type. No.
Route ID full. There it is. Drop routes. Copy.
Okay.
Getting closer. Okay, and our use. Where is this thing used? It's something stupid. And it's totally a permissions issue. Maybe that's what it is I just don't have permission.
To rename a column?
Yeah.
That should...
It's because, like I said, I went through this workflow already on my own machine where I have all the privileges under the sun assigned to me. I was expecting this to go really fast and easy.
Right. Well, if it's a permission thing, then we'll have to rethink about the roles, or actually set up this what the LRS, or who the LRS, I mean, what's their setting up the roles and responsibility. Well, not roles and responsibility, but the
setting up the permissions configuration.
Yeah, permissions.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is
maybe that.
The owner of the schema should have permission to rename a column.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. But maybe it's not a permissions issue.
I don't know.
I mean,
if we, how much work would it be to redo everything? Since you have it written out, right? To
just rebuild the routes table?
Yeah.
I know it'll let me do that. It would be a lot more work.
A lot more work.
No, it wouldn't be. Let's see. What I would have to do is I'd have to rename the current routes table if it'll let me, which it probably won't. Okay, so what I would have to do is scratch that. What I would have to do is create a new table of like routes back. And I would do is
or something, huh?
I would get all the data. It basically I have to save off all the data.
Yeah.
So I create routes back as select star from, no, is that right? I'd have to think, if I had to change the workflow,
right.
I'd have to think it through. I wouldn't want to do that, like, on the line with you, unless you wanted to be on the line with me, but to do it recorded, that's kind of...
that we're going to be running back and forth because we'll be testing it, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I think the best thing I can do is, let me just let's keep poking. There's some object that's
it's stuck somewhere. That's what it seems like, because it's reading it somehow. That's why it's not allowing us to make that change. But I guess it's a matter of finding exactly where, or what table or what view it's doing.
Drop the virtual column. I wonder what is a virtual column? Because I'm not sure. I mean, I can sort of surmise what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Virtual column. When queried, virtual columns appear to be normal table columns, but their values are derived rather than being stored on disk. The syntax for defining a virtual column is listed below.
The route ID full, I think that's what it's talking about, right?
Yeah, interesting. So let's look at the routes, the current route SQL. I'll try again. What time did you say you have to go?
3.
3, okay.
Yep. Yeah, we got time. Let's see if it's in that. Router ID full. Okay.
I don't know. It looks pretty normal to me.
Yeah, it's just building that table. That's all it is. Create.
Well, okay, I could drop the column.
Yeah.
And then add it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's the problem with that? Is that it's going to put the column at the end of the table.
Mm-hmm.
If we drop it, add it back in.
Yeah, just adding a new record or something. So, in the table, but it's a column. Now, if the alter should work because it's just replacing, route ID full plus key. The alter.
Well, and like I said, I tested it before.
Yeah, the alter statement should work.
So, damn. What if I alter table, add column, add LRS key. Actually, alter table, routes, add LRS key. Varchar 255.
Wouldn't have to be LRS routes.
There you go. Well, that works. So that just added LRS key, and I can say update LRS key. Sorry, update routes. Set LRS key equal to route ID full. Commit. Does that make sense what I'm doing here?
Yep. See, commit complete action unknown.
Set LRS key. Oops.
We're just updating it. Why is it taking?
Well, it's 2.5 million records. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah, it's changing every one of them.
It won't take very long. It'll take like as long as it takes to to display to display data like all of the routes layer in GeoMedia, for example. It's just doing a little something to every record. Yeah, the problem though, man, is going to be the LRS key is at the bottom. That's just not going to. Oh, well, okay, that's done. So now, in theory, we can drop.
Can we keep the LRS, the route ID full?
Well, we don't.
It'll be a duplicate of it, right? But,
we can. We don't want to, though.
Yeah. Because it's a duplicate of the LRS key, but now the LRS key is on the bottom. Which is, it's going to be.
Ooh, look at that. Oh, no, that's fine. I see. Those are all DNCs. It always freaks me out when I first look at this. This table, right? Because the first records are all DNCs. Anyhow, see, this worked, right? All the LRS keys moved over.
That's funny. We couldn't even alter.
Yeah, that's weird. That feels like a permissions issue. We ought to maybe talk to Allah about. Or I may just not have quite the right knowledge of how to rename with the privileges. There might be a right way to do it with the privileges I have. It's just I didn't. My testing was on my own development machine and where I had privileges galore.
Yeah, if it's a privilege, it would be good to capture that, whether in a recording or a manual or something, So as we move forward, in maintenance mode or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let's move forward. What we can do is redeploy. No, I want to get this right. I'm going to just call Allah and ask him. You want to be on the line for that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm going to pause the recording, and let's just try to get a hold of him and do this. So we'll come back to the recording when we know what to do. All right.